In the world, it is whispered as an illegal equal criminal. Here I would like you to rethink what the law is. If there is a law that one throw away gum on the street is guilty. If you throw gum on the street, you must pay penalty or be imprisonment. Then, how it was before such a law was made, it is not a sin. The law made by humans is like that. Furthermore, if the murder is legal by law, do you think that there is no sin in murder? In this world there are laws other than the laws prescribed by humans. That is, the law of God. It does not change eternally from ancient times. It has nothing to do with the country and the times. Regardless of human thought, even if you exclude religions, we are dominated by this law of God in the first place. Even if one say, I do not want to go to sleep, people have to sleep. Breathing and eating are also indispensable apart from people's speculation. And even death is in that category. These are the proof that humanity is dominated by the law of God. These are forcibly attacking humans, but there is also laws of God that is left to the free will of man. For example, you must forgive others, or do not get angry at people. Do not swear, or do not make fantasy delusions. These are the things that are being done on a daily basis on earth now. Well, I think that it is crucial to force these people literally. But besides that, there are many other laws that must be kept. Let's think about murder here. If you approve the murder, both yourself and your family, all your loved ones will be target to murder. In order to avoid it, you must admit that no one should commit a murder. However, while mankind knows it, they has continued to commit the crime of homicide in history. Especially, by homicide human beings do not recognize as murder. For example, in witch hunting many psychics and ordinary women had been killed. The murderer thought that the witch could be killed. They did not think that they were sinners. Also, in many wars, countless soldiers were killed. The leaders thought that they could kill enemy people. Even now the human race does not think that war is a murder. And now, there is a death penalty program. Modern people think that it is natural to kill the murderer. But man killing man must be murder. That is to violate God's law. In other words, if a country prohibiting gum littering has conceded the death penalty at the same time, that country convicts of gum littering, they will endorse the murder. Why are they becoming an unreasonable like this? Because modern people do not know the law of God. And that means that mankind must learn how to improve the law. Modern humans are making new laws one after another. Car speeding violation, gambling prohibition, drug law, prostitution prohibition, construction law, etc. However, at the time the car was invented by Ford, there were no laws about car. Everyone without driver's license drove their cars. Gambling is encouraged in Las Vegas. There is a right of drugs called Vision Quest in India and in Central America. There were no building standard laws for people in the cave era. So, you should lose these laws? It is not so. Politicians rarely make laws with malice, but mostly they are making laws to make up for inadequacy of living. That is because there are many bad people in the world. Unless some regulation is put in place, the world will be confused. In short, the fact that too many villains there, the fact that the population of the earth itself is exceeding, the fact we must do something, these causes create new laws from one to the next, and human beings are binding themselves. Even if you pick it in your pocket 10 yen, 1 cent, on the street, it becomes a crime of losing things, embezzlement charges. Even with such a light violation, crime is a crime in modern times. So, besides the current law, how about we make suspension law or ethics law, for instance? That is, even if a man violates law, he will be tolerated for 1 or 2 violations, but 3 times, 4 times, he repeating criminal acts shall be arrested. That is, some kind of misdemeanor is left to the conscience of the enforcer. They should have such a margin like this. Not to say that you should release the felon, of course, however, there must be terms of exchange. That is, to all humanity understands the law of God. If they can so, criminals themselves will decrease. When it comes to such an era, the law itself and the judge will go loosen in a good meaning. I told you beforehand that you must forgive others, or you should not be angry with men, you should not abuse, or you should not have delusion. These must also be a crime. You must learn these gradually. For example, ancient human beings have not killed any living things. In the days of Adam and Eve, human beings did not eat meat. However, in modern times, human beings are covered with blood. Are not you eating happily cows or pigs? It is nothing but killing animals. But do not think extremely. The extreme is that the bad guys do. Of course there are things you have to keep in order. Murder or adultery must never do. There are things that humanity should gradually reform. One of them is food. Christ does not say, do not kill fish. So can you kill the fish and eat it? You may eat, but you should not eat if you can. The answer is. But this is an example what God showed generosity to humanity. The sons of this world are smarter than the angels of light, he said. It means there are things in this world that angels who is in the upper dimension and looks down on the lower bound cannot understand. Before that, God overlooked the lower world from the heavenly world. Thought that the earth was fully depraved, but he found out when he lived himself in the lower world, it is difficult to suppress anger. He must have had sexual desire and it is difficult to forgive others. Therefore, he taught that it has to be tolerant. In other words, it is synchronizing with the teachings of Buddha, who said that extreme is wrong. Buddha taught by the word middle way. Well, the sin of thought of what I said above is certainly a sin. You will say, who can do such things? But it is possible for certain saints and old people. It is indispensable for who has rise up to heaven. For that reason, the heavenly world is made step by step. However, secular people do not be able to do immediately. In the first place, mankind should not do more sins before that. Before you try not to abuse others, do not try to commit violence against others, and you have to not commit adultery before you do not see others with obscene eyes. First of all, human beings must learn the law of the universe, and try to do not commit a big sin, reduce population density, create a calm society. And it is necessary to gradually loosen the law which bound too tightly.